Chris Brown, 5-star home inspection for service that shines above the rest. Today, I'm going to walk you through how we inspect a home component by component. So we're going to tell you about the things that we look for on each specific area of a home that we inspect. First up, roofing. A lot of things to look at up here. We're looking for cracked, damaged shingles. We're looking for any type of water penetration issues. We're checking out the plumbing boots, furnace vents, chimneys, gutters, and many other components as well. So hey, let's get started. All right, now that the roof has all been inspected, let's move on to the exterior. This is what we're looking at, the exterior. Obviously a lot of parts and pieces here. We're looking at all of the wall cladding, no matter what type of finished material you have. Vinyl siding, stone, brick, wood, anything like that. Window frames, exterior railings, stairs, and of course, foundation, very important. Crawl spaces, we're looking to make sure that the vents are open. We're looking for exterior grading issues, any points of entry for water penetrations around the perimeter of the home. And of course, there's all kinds of other components as well. You've got condenser units, you may have water heaters, exterior plumbing, exterior electrical. A lot of stuff to look at on the exterior, so let's get busy. All right, now that we've got the exterior pretty much covered, one very important thing on the exterior of every house, decks. There's been a lot of safety concerns and damages, and unfortunately even some fatalities when it comes to exterior decks. Very important to make sure that these decks are properly fastened and secured to the house. Back many years ago, they didn't require decks to be bolted. Nailing the ledger board to the floor band at that time was acceptable. But what's happened is you'll get rainwater, it'll get down behind that, it'll rust the nails off, they'll corrode, and now you've got a serious problem with the deck. So there's always a lot of things to look at with the decks. Also, weathered surfaces. If you have, this one here is a little bit weathered, so you get nail heads that will pop up and down. You'll get splinters. You can rub your hand across the railing and get splinters in your hand, or even on your feet if you have to walk across your deck in your bare feet. But a lot of things on decks to look at. So just another important component of the exterior. Okay, now we're getting into the really spooky stuff. Attics. Later we'll get into crawl spaces. A lot of stuff up here in an attic. All right, one of the great ways to tell how a roof is performing is from inside the attic. We're looking for any kind of water stains on the roof sheathing, any possible other areas of water penetrations where the plumbing vent pipes go up through the roof. If you have dryer vents that go out through the roof, chimneys, all of those, okay? Other things that we're looking for in attic, very important, trusses, okay? We're making sure that none of these trusses in the attic have been damaged or compromised during construction. You would be surprised at how many homes that 15, 20, 25 years old that will go in and we'll find trusses that were previously damaged and never found before. Other components to obviously look at, sometimes you'll have air handlers in attics, sometimes you won't. You also always have ductwork, insulation, electrical wiring. Sometimes certain attics, you got to kind of see how they ventilate. There's signs for that. You may have high temperatures, high humidity, even on the worst days of the summer. From an experienced home inspector, you can kind of tell how they're ventilating a little bit. Other telltale signs. One other very important thing I need to say about attics: make sure that it's somebody that's professional, that has experience at crawling around in attics. I don't know if you noticed this or not, but I'm actually just standing on 2 trusses. Okay, there's been a lot of people over the past years that have gotten seriously injured because it does take some special experience and a little bit of know-how where to step and where not to step, so obviously you don't fall down through the attic. Okay, and if you're a builder, realtor, anybody in that position, and you decide to go into an attic, if you know how to do it, you've done it before, use your best judgment. But I will give you a piece of advice: don't let clients go into an attic. Okay, there's been some problems with that, where they have followed a home inspector or another individual into an attic, and they stepped through the ceiling and got hurt. So anyways, just a point there about attics: you have to be very careful where you're walking. So let's get busy inspecting this attic. All right, now on to kitchens. Another very important area of the house. A lot of stuff here to look at. Of course, we have all the appliances to review. We verify dishwashers, microwaves, vent hoods, ranges. Refrigerators, we do look at those, although we're not required to inspect them for the standards of practice of North and South Carolina. There really isn't a whole lot to inspect on them anyways, but we do look behind them and we check the ice makers out and things like that. Obviously, countertops, cabinetry, floors, walls, ceiling coverings. Electrical, got to make sure that you have all the ground fault circuitry. So, like I said, another very important component of the house. So let's get started. All right, common areas around the interior: bedrooms, living rooms, family rooms. What we're looking for here is we're checking all the electrical, light fixtures, smoke detectors. We're looking for water stains on the ceiling, which may come from a roofing problem, may come from a plumbing problem on the second floor. We're looking at all the windows, looking for operation. You have to make sure that you have an egress out of every room in the house. So, and we're also looking for the broken vacuum seals, which are also very common. And then we're looking for areas of any potential cracking in the walls, the floors, or the ceilings. All right, bathrooms. Here again, a lot of things to look at here. We find a lot of issues with bathrooms. Loose faucets, drain slappers that don't function as intended, work up and down. We find a lot of stopped up sinks. Also, the drains underneath, the plastic drains, we find issues with those. Some things with cabinetries and countertops. Checking the ground fault receptacles, all of the lighting, and of course, toilets. We find a lot of loose toilets and shower fixtures, caulking around the tub spouts, shower heads, and of course we're checking for all the hot and colds to make sure that they are on the correct sides, and then we move on from there. Okay, here we are with electrical. Electrical panel. Make sure that only a professional removes these covers for obvious dangerous reasons. On the electrical system, the nice thing about electricity is there's no working, moving mechanical parts, so it either works or it doesn't. It's pretty simple. We're looking for any kind of safety concerns. The ground faults and arc fault devices all get tested. We're also checking out all of the outlets and the switches, making sure that things are grounded properly. And we also have to identify the service equipment, if it's a 100 amp service, 150, 200. We're looking at the meter bases outside and also the grounding provisions as well. So another thing we do too is I always like to take my laser thermometer and I'll shoot this at the panel. What this will tell me is if there's any hot spots, breakers or anything else which could, you know, indicate some kind of a problem. A lot of different variations with electrical panels depending on the time period that they were done, but obviously a very important and essential part of every home inspection. All right, next is water heaters and the general plumbing system. A couple of different types of water heaters. You have electric and you have natural gas. This one here is obviously electric. Natural gas, you would have the vent pipe and the gas line coming in. These units are pretty self-sufficient as far as, here again, no mechanical moving parts. They're the type of appliance where you install them and you pretty much just kind of forget about it. They last a long time. Some of them go, you know, 25, 30 years or more. They'll be in different locations. Some maybe be in a laundry room, attics. Most common spaces are garages, and then also, you know, some in the crawl space. As far as the general plumbing, we are checking that in a lot of different areas around the home, on the exterior, in the bathrooms, and also in the substructure areas, especially like if you're on a crawl space or a basement. We're also identifying where the main water shutoffs are, the different types of plumbing piping, and looking at the fittings and the connections and all of those parts or pieces, because you know, one thing that'll do the most damage to any other component in your house is water. So we want to make sure that no water's coming out of the pipes and no water's coming in from outside. That's the two very big things when performing home inspections. Okay, here we are with another one of the most important components of any home, and that's the heating and air conditioning systems. A lot of things to look at here. On the air conditioning side, we're evaluating the condenser units, the indoor coils, and the cooling capacity of the home. A lot of extensive time into evaluating the air conditioning systems. On the heating systems, same thing. We're looking at the burner units, the condition of the air handler itself, and also all of the ductwork, and evaluating all of those components and making sure that there is a heat source in every room of the house. So we could go on for a long time about heating and air conditioning and all the things that we find with it, but basically the best thing that you can do as a homeowner, buyer, seller, whatever your position is please, please, please keep your condenser units clean, keep the coils clean on the outside, and keep the debris out from inside the unit itself. And your filters, obviously very important to keep them changed regularly, and then to service the indoor air handler unit. All right, here I am in my Halloween getup. This is where a home inspector earns their pay. Crawl space inspections. The absolute most important component of every home inspection. There's a lot of things in here, and we go places where most people wouldn't even think of going. So we're going to get started. All right, here in the crawl space, a lot of things to review. We have the foundation. We also have to look for wood-destroying insect activity, termites, carpenter ants, so on. Water penetrations. Have a lot of issues with those in crawl spaces. Plus all of the other components. You have structural framing, you have insulation, electrical wiring, plumbing pipes. You have components down here. You got an air handler over on this side. We have a pressure tank over here. So a lot of stuff to look at in a crawl space. And again, one of the most important components of any home inspection. And do yourself a favor. Make sure you hire a home inspector that has a lot of experience at doing this type of work, and it'll be extremely beneficial for you in the long run. All right, so let's go crawl. Whew, whew, whew. All in a day's work. Okay, folks, well, that does it for our home inspection. We have been through this property, top to bottom, inside to out, everywhere in between. But I hope that you got to kind of see a little bit of an inside view, you know, from what it takes to do a proper home inspection and the effort involved. Want to thank everybody for watching, and you know, please be sure to check us out on our website at 5starhomeinspections.us. Give us a call, 855-500-3744. My name is Chris Brown. I'm the owner of 5 Star Home Inspections, and we hope that you'll give us a call so you can receive service that shines above the rest.